My fiancée ended our relationship after her colleagues convinced her I wasn't good enough for her, only to regret it the next day. I'm a 29-year-old guy, and until this morning I believed my life was perfect. My fiancée, Emma, and I had been together for 5 years with our wedding just 3 months away. She was my everything, intelligent, stunning, and driven, but all that changed in one conversation. The day started like any other. I woke up early, prepared breakfast for Emma, and sent her off to work with a kiss. But when she returned that evening, something felt wrong. She was reserved, distant, and avoided my gaze. I asked what was bothering her, and that's when she dropped the bombshell. "We need to talk," she said, her voice unsteady. "I don't think we're meant to be together anymore." I was floored. "What are you saying?" I asked. "Our wedding is in 3 months." Hesitating, she revealed the truth. Her coworkers, particularly her work friend Sarah, had been telling her for months that I was beneath her. They claimed I lacked ambition, didn't earn enough, and that she deserved better. After months of their relentless pressure, she'd given in. "I'm sorry," she said, tears falling. "I just don't think this will work." I was crushed. 5 years of love, trust, and dreams gone in an instant. I tried to reason with her, to remind her of everything we'd shared, but she wouldn't budge. "It's not about you," she repeated. "I just need something more." With that, she left, saying she needed time alone. At first, I was heartbroken. After Emma walked out, I sat on the sofa, staring at the engagement ring she'd left behind on the table like it was worthless. I was hurt, but more than that, I was furious. How could she discard 5 years because of her coworkers' opinions? And who did Sarah think she was, meddling in our relationship? I needed answers, and I wasn't going to find them wallowing in self-pity. Then I remembered something Emma had mentioned months ago. She used the same password for everything. "It's simpler," she'd said, brushing off my warnings about online security. I grabbed my laptop, opened her email, and typed in her usual password, Emma456. It worked. I was in. At first, I wasn't sure what I was searching for. I skimmed through her emails, hoping to uncover something that would explain her decision. And then I found it, a series of messages between Emma, Sarah, and a guy named Jake. It was like stepping into a drama series. Sarah's messages were the worst. For months, she'd been feeding Emma lies about me. "He's dragging you down," she wrote in one email. "You're way too good for him. You deserve someone like Jake, someone who matches your energy." In another, she even urged Emma to explore things with Jake to see if there was chemistry. I was stunned. Sarah wasn't just Emma's friend, she was her puppet master, and a terrible one at that. Then I found the messages between Emma and Jake. They weren't outright romantic, but they were flirty enough to make my blood boil. Jake sent her cheesy lines like, "You're the sharpest and most gorgeous person here," and Emma replied with smiley faces, "And you're too much." It wasn't a full-blown affair, not yet, but they were definitely crossing lines. And the worst part? Emma had kept these messages like they were keepsakes. The real treasure, though, was the group chat between Emma, Sarah, and Jake. They spent hours mocking their bosses, calling them useless, out of touch, and one I found particularly amusing, a walking lawsuit waiting to happen. They even joked about starting a pool to bet on which manager would get sacked first. It was funny but reckless. If their bosses ever saw those messages, they'd be finished. As I read through, an idea began to take shape. Emma had ended things because Sarah convinced her I wasn't enough. Well, I was about to show them just how capable I was. I saved all the messages, Sarah's scheming, Emma and Jake's flirting, and their manager-bashing session, into a folder. Then I checked Emma's work calendar. Perfect. A company-wide virtual meeting was scheduled for that afternoon. It was the ideal moment to make my move. But first, I had to ensure Emma and Sarah didn't suspect anything. I sent Emma a text, playing the part of the heartbroken ex. "I can't believe this is over. I thought we were forever." She replied with a vague, "I'm sorry, it's for the best." I rolled my eyes, typed, "I just need time to process," and silenced her notifications. Then I got to work. I spent the next few hours planning my reveal. I set up a fake email account, uploaded the messages to a shared drive, and drafted an anonymous email to the CEO. The subject line was straightforward: "A matter of workplace conduct." I scheduled it to send during the meeting when everyone would be online. After Emma left for work the next morning, I sat on the couch, staring at the empty space where her things once were. She'd come home the previous night, packed her belongings quietly, and left without a word. I didn't speak either. What was there to say? She'd made her choice, and now it was my turn. I opened my laptop and reviewed the anonymous email I'd drafted. The subject was a matter of workplace conduct, and it included screenshots of the messages between Emma, Sarah, and Jake. Sarah's manipulation, their flirting, and their scathing comments about their bosses. I scheduled it to send at 10 a.m. during the company's weekly virtual meeting. Then I texted my friend Liam, who worked at the same company. Something big's about to happen. Keep me posted. At 10 a.m., Liam texted me, "Mate, what did you do? The CEO just got an email with some wild screenshots." I grinned and replied, "Just watch." Over the next hour, Liam gave me a play-by-play of the meeting. The CEO had opened the email mid-meeting and immediately called out Emma, Sarah, and Jake. He read parts of the messages aloud, his tone growing angrier. "Is this how you represent our company?" he demanded. "Manipulating colleagues, flirting during work hours, and slandering your managers. This is unacceptable." Liam's texts were priceless. "Emma looks like she's going to faint. Sarah's throwing Jake under the bus, and Jake's just frozen like a deer in headlights. This is the best meeting ever." By the end, the CEO had decided. Emma was fired on the spot for breaching company policy. Sarah was demoted and placed on probation for fostering a toxic environment. Jake resigned before he could be sacked, mumbling about new opportunities. Liam sent one final text. "You're a legend. This is going down in company lore." I laughed and set my phone down. Phase 1 of my plan was complete. Now for Phase 2. Emma came home that afternoon, her face pale and eyes red from crying. She walked into the living room where I was casually scrolling through my phone. "Did you do this?" she asked, her voice trembling. I looked up, feigning confusion. "Do what?" She slammed her phone on the table, the screen showing the leaked messages. Did you leak them?" I shrugged. "Why would I? I'm just the guy who's not in your league, right?" Emma glared at me. "You did this, I know it was you." I leaned back and smirked. "Prove it." She opened her mouth to argue, but stopped. She knew she had no evidence, and even if she did, she had bigger problems now. Later that evening, Emma called, her voice shaky. "I'm sorry," she said. "I messed up. Can we talk?" I paused, then said, "Sure, come over." When she arrived, I handed her a cup of tea, and she looked hopeful, like she thought I'd forgive her. That's when I dropped the truth. "I leaked the messages," I said calmly. Her eyes widened. "You what?" I leaned forward, still smiling. "Yeah, it was me. I accessed your account, sent the messages, and watched it all fall apart. And it felt so good." Emma was speechless, but I wasn't finished. "Oh, and you left some stuff here yesterday. I packed it for you. It's by the door. Don't worry, I didn't toss it. I'm not heartless, just someone who knows how to settle a score." Emma stared at me, stunned, her mouth opening and closing without words. Finally, she stammered, Why would you do this?" I leaned back, arms crossed. "Why did you end things? Because Sarah said I wasn't good enough. Why did you flirt with Jake behind my back? Why did you mock your bosses like a clique of mean girls? You made your choices, Emma, and now you're facing the fallout." She started sobbing, but this time I felt no sympathy. "You destroyed my life," she cried. I laughed and said, "No, Emma, you destroyed your own life. I just gave it a nudge." Before she left, I handed her a small envelope. "This is for you," I said. She opened it to find a printed copy of the leaked messages, neatly bound. "A keepsake," I said with a grin. "Something to remember me by." Emma looked at me like I was a stranger, and maybe I was. The guy she dumped wasn't capable of this, but that guy was gone, and I didn't regret it. After she left, I poured myself a drink. I knew what I'd done was questionable, maybe even a bit ruthless, but I didn't care. Emma, Sarah, and Jake had crossed the wrong person, and now they were paying for it. A few days later, Liam texted me, "Mate, you're a legend. People are still buzzing about it. Emma's job hunting, Sarah's hanging by a thread, and Jake's LinkedIn says he's taking time for personal growth." I laughed and replied, "Sounds like justice was served." As for me, I moved forward. I started dating again and met someone who genuinely values me. We've been together a few months now, and it's been amazing. No drama, no manipulation, just two people who enjoy each other's company. Who'd have thought? Looking back, I have no regrets. Emma, Sarah, and Jake brought it on themselves, and I was just the one who held up the mirror. Life's too short to let people trample you, and sometimes you've got to fight fire with fire. Or in my case, with a perfectly timed email and a touch of wit.